What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Disney podcast. That's right. Last episode had a much better looking host than me, but I'm glad to be back. And I got Rob, I got Dave, and we're doing the thing. Yeah,
We're doing it.
we're doing the thing. What's up,
Welcome
fellas?
back.
I feel like I haven't seen you guys in like
I know.
a year.
I think we say this every episode too, by the way. So
That tells you how often we record these.
yes,
No.
no, it looks. Brandon, I was at the supermarket. I had to run for an emergency little run, and I'm like, Brandon better not be looking too tan. I'm gonna be very upset. So
Oh no, I got my normal golden color.
Your Florida Golden Glow.
Florida golden.
it's
Oh,
true.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah,
how's
I-
everybody doing? Because the jingle hop has begun. We are
Yeah.
officially in
It has.
season. So is
We
everybody
are in.
making it?
Yeah, I think we finally just put up our tree 2 days ago.
Yeah, we did this weekend. We had everything else up but that, but you know, it takes a village.
That's right. We had to figure out a place to put it where it would not be ripped down by a small human.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's Walt's birthday today.
Yes,
birthday, Walt.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, Walt.
he would have been 1,052 today. So,
Wow.
I'm just,
1,052, almost as many years as it took to build Tron.
too soon.
This is true. This
Too
is true.
soon. Too soon. I was at my day job today. It was funny. I wrote a policy for a lady who works for Disney marketing today, and so I was joking with her about because she works for Disney and her husband works for Universal. So I was like, "Hey, is there a rivalry there?" Like,
Like a house divided.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, they built a whole park in the time it took us to build a roller coaster. And she was like, "Well, safety first." And I was like, "That is a true marketing answer."
Well done.
you know, that's
You know,
funny.
I was like, it already exists in the world, though, so you can't really use that.
I know. That's true.
I
Oh
like that.
boy.
That's awesome. It was funny, Brandon. I said to Dave, I'm like, doesn't Brandon just go when he goes on vacation? Doesn't he just go to the Magic Kingdom? That was my point.
That's actually where I went. I wasn't even in
Welcome
Jamaica. I went to Caribbean Beach Resort, and it was
Nice. Yeah, there you go.
actually
Just
the
easy.
same.
Just
The same
easy.
thing. Yeah, easy.
See, I travel the world. It's called World Showcase. Yeah.
And you
It would
drink
be a
around
lot
the world, right?
It would be a lot cheaper.
Yeah. So
I have to go find my iPad, so you guys talk amongst
Good.
yourselves.
What a banner day for Disney. I don't know.
It was a good day for Disney. There was a lot of good things that happened
Yeah, let's
Today?
dive right in.
today.
Today,
Walt's
no
birthday.
idea. I have no
Walt's
clue.
birthday.
That's the only thing I know is that it was Walt's birthday.
It's so funny. In the back of it's my dad's 80th birthday today. So happy birthday, Dad. And his twin sister.
Dad.
It's their birthdays today. So
Happy
they
birthday.
share
Her
the
birthday,
birthday
too?
with Walt. Yes. So they share Walt's birthday. I always forget that until it's on my calendar. So Dad's birthday, Walt's birthday. There you go. So that's cool. But it was so funny because I knew it was Walt's birthday today, and I knew things were happening today. But I never even I'm so stupid. I didn't even think. Oh, it's a
Because
cool
I have
marketing.
No
thing.
idea what happened today.
Yeah, it's I'm like, let's market it around Walt's birthday. So, but I always forget, I didn't put two and two together. But duh, it's Walt's birthday, so they're gonna do these special things over at Walt Disney World. So,
Yeah, I mean, one of the special things, guys, we need a moment of silence.
Oh, I got this.
We need a moment of silence.
That's not
The
silence.
walls at EPCOT have finally come down, ladies and
wait, hold
gentlemen.
on.
Wait, is
It's
that the
more
big
like,
announcement?
The walls, whatever that place is called,
Walk.
the Garden of Fantasy Lights statues thing, is now open for people to visit.
Very cool.
Great.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
The general consensus. My friend was there today. Said it wasn't much, but Brandon sent a video. It looked pretty cool. It's like glorified landscaping, as I think we said. But
I mean, it's better than walls, right?
it's better than have to walk all the way around the wall. Yeah, exactly, to get around. So
You can now take a straight shot to the World Showcase.
one thing we're gonna find out though, I was watching Resort TV 1. Thank you, Josh. And Josh realized, I don't know if you guys knew this or saw, but the Creations Cafe he was walking by, and all the lighting scheme in Creations Cafe coincided with the lighting on Spaceship Earth. I don't know if you guys knew this. Did you know this, Brandon or Dave? I didn't know this. This was new. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So then I thought in my head, ding, and I texted Josh. I'm like, hey, do you think if if that area is color coordinated with like the different shows changed and like it interacted in there with Spaceship Earth, do you think this new area is going to do that? And he said, yeah, like that's what he heard. This whole, we're going to call it the Garden of Eden, I think, because the Garden of Eden. I don't even know what it's called. We'll look it up. We'll figure it out. But I have a feeling that we're going to find out. We'll find out tomorrow morning or tonight, maybe that whole area just as a special interaction with the.
I mean, I'm looking at some pictures on Facebook that were posted 26 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And from what I can see, it has some light towers, and it actually brought back the sidewalk illumination, and it is coincided with the pictures of Spaceship Earth in the background.
Okay, so cool.
There's one like shimmery, shiny picture of Spaceship Earth, and there's shimmery, shiny lights on the towers. So I think that is all going to be color coordinated, which would be kind of cool. Like that used to be a super cool area behind Spaceship Earth.
Yep,
and
I love that.
I've actually kind of missed it. Like
yeah.
Epcot, like Dave, Epcot used to be my favorite park until they started dismantling it. So now that it's opening back up, I'm excited to go see it. Of course, I wasn't going to go this evening with, this opening up and then, the new nighttime spectacular beginning as well.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Oh yeah, that's
Luminous.
It's Walt's birthday.
Luminous, the Symphony of Us. It's all because Walt's birthday.
Yes. So I hope they got that soundtrack together. So we read that they weren't happy with the soundtracks.
They planned one thing well. Good job, Disney.
Yeah.
They did.
I'm just going to reserve we have talked offline quite a bit about that area, and it will, I don't know. Everybody has their opinion. Mine doesn't mean anything, but there's no way that any pictures, anything I've seen, any of the artwork that they did, I don't understand why it took 7 years. I don't think it was 7, but it felt like it.
See, Dave, I was disappointed. I thought Brandon was going to have that exact day number. I thought he was going to have that stat, but he didn't.
Well, it rivaled Tron, that's for sure.
It was pretty close.
Sure.
But I just don't think a glorified tree and bush farm was better than the fountain.
No, I agree.
Explain to me explain to me now. Here's why I have to zoom out and not be half negative, Nancy Dave. And that is what was supposed to be there in the original drawings and concept art is much more than what it became. I think we can all agree with that. But I'm like most people that once we're done, we're like, what took so long? It's trees and bushes and concrete. Now I know they had a lot of demo to do, but okay. The fountain was better. That's all I'm gonna say. Now I'll be there at the end of next month, and so I will reserve judgment for live. But man, seems like a miss to me. Seems like a miss.
I have a feeling, and I never even thought of this. I think, but remember how when they demolished the back area, the backlot area of MGM Studios or Hollywood Studios, whatever you want to call it, and I remember even where the is it called the Tap House bar where the pretzels in the bar.
Yep.
They have that area there. It still has that original facade because it was built into the building, so they had to leave it there. I just have you remember that, guys? That area there right before you go on the Galaxy's Edge.
Baseline.
Baseline, yeah. So I have a feeling that I don't know. My gut, I was thinking about it. I think it just took them a long time to get rid of those fountains because just the way Epcot was built, and maybe it was just part of the infrastructure, and maybe they just had
probably not built to ever be uprooted.
Yeah. Maybe they just had a real hard time with it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm making excuses for Disney.
But I will say, I would love somebody to do the research and email us, reach out to us, whatever. Point fingers and mock. I would. It's funny that you bring up Hollywood Studios. I would be shocked if you combine the time that it took to create Andy's Backyard and Galaxy's Edge, I still feel like that was quicker than the construction
definitely.
time at Epcot for a walk through tree and bushes area. Because I mean, literally, it's like I mean, if like I don't know, like okay, so Epcot, right? The festival universe of the world. Do you guys remember like I know the arts festival, they did it on the back side of that fountain. They would have those people all dressed up like in gold, and they were represented. They were like the freeze statue people. They used to do it at Disney Springs too. They had that. There was a little stage where they would have people perform. Several of the artists that were around that area would go up and do like a 15-minute talk about their artwork and how they've done all that stuff. Like, I mean, it was a multi-use area. This is literally to walk through. And it took however long. So that's why I'm just really like, this. It wasn't better. It's not better, but you know what? It'll grow on me just like a wart. So.
You know, I saw a post too. They had this really elaborate thing where Walt's statue was supposed to be displayed, and even that's different. Like it was supposed to be like a staircase or something. Now it's just like a bench or something.
It's like they were like, oh, we made a wall here. Let's we could just put the statue right there. It's fine. It's weird. It looks like it's like off center. It's very random. And again, I'm also going to reserve judgment because we watched. I mean, when Harmonious came out, we watched that thing.
We murdered it,
and we murdered it. Like we were like, this is going to be the worst thing that Disney has ever created. And the next day that we saw it, we were like, that was fantastic. That was amazing. And we lost our mind. So I'm going to reserve judgment. I don't think as Dave puts it, the tree and bush extravaganza is going to blow me away. But the pictures that I've seen look cool. The one thing I did like about it, and in that video, there's so much seating there, which is awesome. Like Epcot is missing shaded seating areas. And I think during one of our Reimagineer It, like I demolished the land and sea pavilion and made it some kind of forested tree area that just was a bunch of seats and relaxation points. So I think Epcot is missing that. Yeah. So I was glad to see that there's a lot of like high top seats and like picnic tables and
I think they have to, because if not, people will literally just stroll through. Like it was like we spent 84 years building an area that's a pathway with trees. We better put some seats there; they'll hang out longer.
Yeah, but there's I noticed that there's like high chairs and like, but there's no restaurant or like even concession anything there, right?
Yeah. No, I can see.
They'll roll the carts up.
Yeah, I can see kind of like the popcorn carts and stuff they have at Hollywood Studios. They got to put a couple in there. I mean, that's a money maker there.
I know where people gather, they will bring food.
Correct.
Maybe the
good times.
I was going to say,
I'm excited to see it all. I'm glad it's done. I do like. I have one of my favorite pictures of Michaela was her sitting on the ground during all of that illuminated walkway, and I got like some long exposure pictures of it like lighting up with her sitting. Like one of my favorite Disney pictures I've ever taken. So I'm glad to hear that's back in a capacity. So I will not I will surprise myself and wait till we go next month to see what it looks like.
Yeah. And for you doubting Thomases, just one more thing I just saw posted. It says, for those that are wondering what it's like, it's colorful. And there's a light show every 15 minutes with beautiful songs in the area.
Oh,
it has
show? I mean, it's separate from.
I think it's probably synced up with Spaceship Earth, but
do they go every 15?
Yeah, they go every 15-ish. So it says, no need for some of y'all's hate. It's gorgeous here and well done.
Nobody can ever dislike anything Disney in a Disney group. Everybody gets their panties in a wad.
But there's a lot of people there. I mean, there's a bunch of people in these pictures. There's a ton of people standing around watching these light shows. So
it's going to be like Moana. It's like, we're going to have a virtual queue. The next day, it's no one.
It's weird. Like even like the last week, I've been seeing a couple of people live streaming and everything. And a lot of, there's no wait, but there's a lot of people in there that go through and everything.
Brandon, you were gone for that show. I was blown away by the Journey of Water. I was blown away.
Knowing you and knowing you as long as I have, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I felt like I had the same, like, I mean, don't plan your trip around it. But like, no, dude, it was fascinating. It's one of the coolest things they've done in Epcot in a lot. Like that felt like old Epcot to me because it was interactive, but learning. Like that had a piece of nostalgia for me that I think Epcot has been missing. And that's probably the home run of it because it felt like this could have been here 30 years ago. It's just that movie didn't exist.
Right.
But man, it was incredible.
You didn't have that analogy, but I actually like that, Dave. That's cool. Speaking of, Brandon wasn't here. I don't think we can go any further without talking about the big milestone that we kind of didn't realize last week. But I think Dave and I after the show were
afterwards,
yeah, wow. But it's cool that Brandon's here. Dave, make the announcement. Let's talk about it real quick.
We waited for Brandon to go to Paradise to have our 100th episode. So this is 101.
Yes.
So Brandon
congratulations.
Missed it.
Congratulations to you guys from day one. I'm a new guy, so I can't celebrate as much. I'm very proud of you guys,
but technically, if you want to think about it, this is really my 100th episode because I missed a week.
Ooh, well, that's
when
right.
Wasn't I like out of the country that we didn't do a show, and so
we did it.
This is technically my 100th show.
Yes. Well, congratulations.
Well, congratulations to us.
Here it is.
It's been quite a ride. It's been quite a ride.
We are so excited.
I don't know how we still put up with each other, but somehow
we switched it to every other week.
Nice. But congratulations, guys. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, man.
We forgot
Can't
about it
believe
again.
I stuck with something that long.
It's so huge we didn't even remember.
Exactly. Again, twice. But yeah, it's awesome. So
I always look at the number when I post it, and I was like, "Oops!" And I texted Rob. I was like, "Well, we missed something."
But
and
it was actually worked out.
I clearly mean me.
Your daughter did an awesome job, but you know what?
Yeah,
we needed Brandon to celebrate the
Yeah,
101 episode.
I listened to that episode. Micaiah was great.
Yeah,
she did good.
She nailed my intro.
If only her dad would let her talk more, it'd have been phenomenal. Which is why I'm trying to lay back this episode.
She did. We both stole your out cue. So
I like it.
Sorry, Brandon. Peace.
It's not stealing. It's an homage.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. So another thing too. At some point, they said in November, it was a little bit of a controversy. Like Dave thought it was like beginning of December. I thought it was like
I couldn't remember
early November. But they said sometimes late December, the Hatbox Ghost is coming. So
late November, yeah.
Late November. What did I say? I must have missed
December.
Late November. Sorry. Yes, late November.
Late November, and we all know what that means in Disney terms. That means that it will premiere on November 30th at 11:50 p.m.
Boom! There it was. The Hatbox.
There
Ghost.
it was. The Hatbox Ghost in its preordained position. I think you guys said like if you watch the Haunted Mansion movie, it makes sense that it's there. Is that correct?
He's just very predominant in the movie, so I don't.
Yeah, he's pretty predominant. I mean,
it is on Disney Plus.
He spent more time in hallways than anywhere else, so he's right at the exit of a hallway, so that kind of works. Yeah. People are really like have their panties in a wad that it's of where it's at. Who cares? I don't care. It's there. Be thankful.
Correct.
It's there, yeah. But
Disney put something new in the Haunted Mansion.
Dave, I think you could appreciate it too. I think it just looks so badass in the Disneyland version. I think he just looks cool, and you're kind of like.
Yeah,
I never was on it where I saw him in Disneyland, but it seems like he's very close to you. Is that what it is? Maybe a few feet away?
It's right when you exit out of the house and like you've left the attic and you're headed backwards. He's right there, so he's kind of like entering you into the outside, into the garden and the. Yeah, and like almost said funerals.
Like, that part's more intense. It builds, and then he's there, and then I think you see that like the bride's there too. I think, and then the pop-up parts are scary in Disneyland. This one, can we talk about it, or we're not supposed to? Well,
I don't
not
care.
Much of a spoiler. Yeah, you kind of like all the streams I've seen. It kind of like hits the corner and like, oh, there he is, and like, okay, and then boom, you're gone. And like even the time you're going near him, like he's in the head, and then he's in the hat box. Like you could actually miss him in one of the positions I saw. Like I'm like,
yeah, from the ones I saw, like it was hard to see. It's kind of like in Figment. If you want to see Figment stuff, you have to like lean around back out of the car sometimes to see Figment do some stuff because you get past. But yeah, the streams I saw, it's like, is he gonna switch to the hat box or
I know
what?
Crazy. Okay, that is a perfect segue into. We got about 25 minutes because it's late, y'all. We recording late for y'all. My wife, I have to give her the credit, sent me a TikTok today, which I mean, I have TikTok. It doesn't control my life like it controls my wife's. I'm just going to be honest with you. She's addicted to it. But she basically only sends me funny stuff. But this one, albeit comical, was relevant to what we do. And that was, speaking of November 30th, when the Hatbox Ghost finally made its appearance, CNBC released an article There was an event. I forget the name of it. I feel like it's in
The
my
shareholder
notes.
meeting? Was that? Or
No,
the
it
poll or
was
something?
he was like on stage. I don't think I kept the note. Anyway, he was at the Deal Book Summit in New York on Wednesday, November 30th.
Right,
That's what it was.
Did
So he
see
was
that.
on stage being interviewed, talking. He went. To me, I think he spoke to the people. He spoke for the people, and so let's unpack this because I want to talk a lot about it. So basically, the title of the article was Disney CEO Bob Iger says company's movies have been too focused on messaging. So I'll read this for you because he says some really harsh things in here, which surprised me. Disney CEO Bob Iger said Wednesday he will no longer tolerate his company's partners and creative team prioritizing messaging over storytelling. That is a hardcore statement. I think. I mean, no longer tolerate. That's some strong language. What do you guys think about that? Just that statement.
I think that statement is it's something very different than we've heard from Iger before. It's all been like for the last couple years, at least since he's come back, it's all been like sunshine and rainbows, and we're trying to be inclusive and we're trying to, accommodate everybody and make Disney for everyone. So to hear him say like I'm not going to tolerate this anymore, like it leads me to believe some stuff went down behind the scenes that we still don't know about.
Well, I think he's still catching up from Chapek. So a lot of this stuff that happened during, like the bulk of these ones that have released were like in development under Chapek. And if you remember, Bob's main focus was really like outward media. Like he's never been a parks guy. Never like this. I never thought he was like a anti-parks guy like the Chapek persona had, but Bob was definitely focused his focus was on media for sure. I can't remember his background before then, but I feel like that's what it
ABC,
was.
He was.
Yeah. So I mean, that's his background.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So he went on to say, creators lost sight of their number one objective, of what their number one objective needed to be. Again, he said this at the Deal Book Summit in New York on the 30th of November. We have to entertain first. It's not about messages. So he keeps driving that home. Yeah. And so, like, I mean. I want to play devil's advocate sometimes. I'm like, well, every movie has a message. It has a story. Like sometimes the story and the message coincide, but I'm pretty sure what he's talking about is, one that comes to mind is, but I feel like this was under his tenure earlier, but Zootopia was like, that was not a story. It was not a storytelling movie about animals. It was about something completely different. Right. And then the
message behind it.
Yeah. So like, that's the only one that like glaringly comes to mind. But then he went on earlier that week in a town hall meeting that they need to get back to creating hit movies because that's the best way that the company can change the perception for investors and employees. There it is. Okay, now we know the why. Because at first I was like, okay, so you're coming in and like, yeah, the last few movies haven't been hits. Well, we did some research. It's been more than just the last few. So we've got upset investors and we've got upset not upset employees, but it is kind of employees. So, what do you guys, when you guys hear that, what do you think? What comes to mind when you hear like, we need to change the perception for investors and employees?
Yeah. So by the way, I heard he is definitely retiring 2026, I believe.
Rob, we've heard this is the third time he's had to make.
Yeah. But like that's his focus. So, and I feel like, he's a little bit out of desperation. If the movies like Wish came out, that didn't do great again. So, for their track record,
it was
lately.
The worst movie in 20 years for Disney.
Yeah, it's so sad. So, but I think, even like my best friend, like he was saying like, oh, that I hate this saying and I hate even saying it, but like, oh, Disney's so woke and this and that, and
that's their perception.
But the sign of the times is like, be honest with you, like I feel they really didn't have a choice. Like they kind of had to go, and like with just the movements of the last couple of years and everything. I think Disney felt that they had to. Maybe this is the wrong words, but they had to do this because that if they didn't do it, then there would be a lot of backlash if they didn't do it. So,
I think they're finding out it was the other way.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I feel too.
Right or wrong, no matter what side of the fence you stand on,
100%.
Money talks, and so that's ultimately what this is. Because the challenging thing for me is we all love Disney so much. And it is so hard for us sometimes. It is so hard for me sometimes to realize that this is a company that exists to make profit.
Yes.
That is if they don't make profit, they cease to exist. That's no different for any business in the world. When you go to a nonprofit, that changes. They may be doing things for the good. Now, Disney does great things. They make a wish and give kids the world. There's all kinds of partnerships that they do that changes people's lives. I'm not saying from that aspect, but you got shareholders, you've got partners, you got people that give a crap ton of money to the Disney company that aren't happy with the direction. So I feel like it's been a while that it's been like that. So I don't know. I mean, it also takes a while for that big wheel to spin. Is that fair to say? Maybe we're just now
100%.
seeing the results of it.
Yeah.
So Brandon, what do you think?
No, I mean, I agree with both of you guys. I just feel like they made a gross miscalculation. Like they felt like this was the way that the world was going. And if we did not change and we did not adjust to that flow, that people were going to stop watching Disney movies. I mean, the one glaring one that comes to mind with me, and I have nothing against the casting, I have nothing against anything, is The Little Mermaid, right? My favorite movie, my favorite princess. They made the casting choices that they made, which I think were 100% reactionary towards the way that the world was at that point in time.
You saw it. How did you feel about the cast? Did it take away from the film?
Yes and no.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes and no. To me, I mean, I love the story and I love the music of The Little Mermaid. So to me, it was still Disney. It was still The Little Mermaid. But I didn't want people go to the movies to escape reality, right? And people go to not think about things that are in the outside world. So to watch it on the screen and be like, in the back of my head, I was like, they just cast this person because that was the uproar of the minute. And she was phenomenal. Nothing against her.
She was great.
Like, she was amazing. But to me, like for the first half of the movie, I was like this isn't The Little Mermaid. Like it's not. And so once I got past that, I enjoyed the movie. And by the end of it, I was like, hey, that was really good. But to me, it just seems like they made knee-jerk reaction that had ripple effects.
But it's fair. I think you answered that well because you said yes and no, right? So at the end of the day, that decision may have taken away from the film for you. I'm just like, I'm paraphrasing or I'm guessing. So like, that's fair. That's correct.
And there's been plenty of Disney movies that I've been like, you know, in the old classic Disney days, Frozen and things like, you know, that I've gone back to the movie theater to see, right?
Yeah.
But most of the Disney movies lately have been like, it was okay. Like I wouldn't pay to go see that again. I'll wait till it comes to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to see Wish, and then I don't know. Now,
well, I don't want to break away from the conversation, but we went opening day. I wasn't like stupidly excited for that film, but I was excited, and it was the reason. Like it's a really bizarre reason. So y'all are going to be like, well, Brandon, I know for sure is going to be like, that doesn't surprise me at all. I don't know how to explain this other than there was a texture to the animation process that was unique to anything I've ever seen that almost felt like you were looking at a book.
Yeah.
And so I thought it looked fascinating. It was gorgeous. It was incredible. It's like, how do they do that? Like into my, like, I mean, I don't have a background in animation at all, but like the only way that my brain knew how to explain it, it's like they put a filter over top of the camera and it makes, but no, I mean, obviously it was done into the animation and it was wonderful. And I'm going to give some spoilers here. The first 20 minutes of that movie, I was locked in, and I still have to tell you the story of the movie, fantastic. It's about dreams. It's about, you shouldn't don't ever lose your dreams. And so that's where the wish, it's so, I don't want to give the synopsis of the film, but then
I keep taking my headsets off.
I had no idea about the film. I think I'd seen a teaser trailer. I don't even know if I'd seen a trailer.
That's a marketing thing.
But here's the
I
thing.
agree with you 100%. I don't know anything about this movie.
Well, I'm going somewhere that you probably don't know where I'm going. And then after 20 minutes, this Mario looking character that was a star came down from heaven and absolutely destroyed the rest of the film. It
That's
straight
crazy.
up was a star out of a Mario video game. 100.
He looks
I was
like
like,
it,
what
or
in
she,
I have
or
never
it,
cursed on the show.
whatever.
I literally was sitting in the film and I looked over at Matthew and I said, what the hell just happened? And what's so funny is I remember us back standing in line at the concessions and I was like, why do they still have Mario movie like stuff here? It wasn't, dude.
That was
like
weird.
I had
Oh,
not
that's
seen
funny.
anything from the
That's
film,
funny.
and we were standing in line. I was
That's
like, why do they
crazy.
have a Mario popcorn bucket with the star? That's how out of, and even the animation of it was literally felt like it was added in afterward. After they did the whole thing, it's like they added it. Like that's not what's. I don't think that's
It's a
why it
Disney
did
Plus
bad.
movie for
But
me.
I was like, what? Just and so it was. The story was still phenomenal, but it was just like, what? I did not understand that at all. Okay, sorry, that was my side
It's okay.
rant. But God, it's beautiful to
ruined
look
the
at. It was
movie.
gorgeous looking.
You know, I felt that too. Like I love the style of it, the way it looked. You know, I think they were really promoting that heavy too. So, but I never really thought of how you worded it. But yeah, but I felt that too.
Yeah, it was.
I just didn't put it into words. I guess that makes sense.
Okay.
And
to our story.
Wait,
No,
before
go
we
ahead,
go,
go ahead.
before we go there, I mean, you said you're on the TikTok. So did you see all of the TikToks about the song, the villains song, and that they called the
No.
dime store Lin-Manuel Miranda?
No, they didn't.
Oh yeah. When we're done, go to the TikTok and just look up
Oh man.
Wish Lin-Manuel Miranda and watch all the videos because and this is kind of and that's where I think the downfall of our society is, right? Like we have all this social media now. We didn't used to know anything about movies.
Nope.
We would see the 30-second trailer and we'd be like, oh, that looks amazing, or oh, that looks awful.
Yeah.
And that's how you decided to go see a movie.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, you have YouTube, you got TikTok, you got Facebook, and so like
You've got the making of that comes out before you even get
exactly. It's almost impossible to not see anything about what's coming out.
Yeah.
So
It's impossible.
Wow, that's funny.
but yeah,
Okay,
that just
now
reminded me of it. That's funny.
And now we continue with our show topic.
It's all right.
Sorry, that was a bad
We're
rant.
talking
Bad-
Disney.
No, this
I'd
is
love
how
to
we
go for
really
that.
are, people. We just go off
So-
on tangents.
Bob had another scathing quote. I guess scathing is a hard word, but to me, I read this article and I was like, ooh, like it was constant. All right. Bob Iger quote: "We have entertained with values and with having a positive impact on the world in many different ways. Black Panther is a great example of that. I like being able to entertain if you can infuse it with positive messages and have a good impact on the world. Fantastic. But that should not be the objective. When I came back, what I have really tried to do is return to our roots." And so I was just like, I'm like, of all the films you had to say, like, you had to
That one, yeah.
Black Panther? That's a little risque, buddy. But that was, man, you guys know this about me. Let's go full screen on Dave for those listening. That will mean nothing. I have seen, other than Iron Man, I have seen like one or two Marvel movies. Black Panther is one that I've seen, and it was phenomenal. So take that for what it's worth for a non-Marvel. I don't hate Marvel. I just am not drawn. My brother was the comic book nerd growing up, so I never really connected with that. But man, Black Panther was good. I just like it because it was so different. I don't know. Maybe all the other ones were different too. I don't know. I'm an idiot.
You never saw Avengers or Guardians of the Galaxy?
No.
No.
Oh, there's
I tried Guardians and fell asleep twice.
We've had this conversation with Dave a lot. We've tried to like
good.
clockwork orange him and like tie his eyelids open and make him watch Avengers movies.
But what's funny
Doesn't
is
work.
the Guardians of the Galaxy ride at EPCOT, like the big muscular dude, he's freaking hilarious. Is he like
he's
that in all the
funny in the
films?
movie. He's great.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
he's so funny.
100%.
Bad
All right,
teeth.
let's get back to numbers because this is where it's hurting. And why I think we need to give an overarching thing here.
Yeah.
Parks is keeping Disney afloat, and that's why everything costs so much there. How many times have I said vote with your feet, vote with your wallet? Well, in films they are.
Yeah. People
but
are
in the
definitely
parks,
voting
they're not.
otherwise. Yeah.
So because Disney is flailing in so many, like Disney Plus, nightmare, Hulu, nightmare, Star Wars, nightmare. Now movies, I don't want to say nightmare, but sounds like they're
Nightmare-ish.
they're in troubled waters. And so I was like, okay, so that TikTok guy went on to say, and so I stole this from him. 2023 is the first year since 2014. And I'm just going to round up because the government does. That's 10 years. Okay. That's 10 years. That's even through COVID. Even through COVID. This is the first time in 10 years Disney did not have $1 billion movie. And look, I know where's everybody going to go? There's a recession. There's a recession.
There's not a recession at the parks.
No, definitely not at the parks. And I need to back up. That's all of Disney. That's Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars. Like that's everything that there wasn't a Star Wars movie in the theater, but that's all the Pixar, all the Disney, all the Marvel that's come out. That's all of them this year. Did not reach $1 billion. Okay, we're in a recession. Barbie hit $1 billion. Mario hit $1 billion.
Oppenheimer. A historical drama, Oppenheimer, hit $1 billion.
Yikes.
Wow.
And that's new.
It's crazy.
So, my bottom line that I wrote is this is the first real admission that the Disney company is hurting financially. We all knew it, but now it's coming from the top. So that was my made up statement. What do you guys feel about when you hear that? This is the first real admission from the Disney company that they're hurting. We all knew it, but now it's coming from the top. What do you think of that?
You know, Disney was so like every movie was $1 billion. Like it was like not even a big deal after a while. So now, like you know,
number to hit.
Yeah, like now you look at it like, oh my god. So yeah, you know, I don't know. It's hard to put into words. Like I just think, like I said, it's out of desperation. He had to, he had to fault something, So, and what's the fix? I think he had to put some blame somewhere. So I guess it seemed like he put the blame other places. Now it's down to this, So Brandon, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel it. Just in general, like I remember used to get excited about the next Disney movie coming out, but I can't tell you, like the last 10 movies, I've been like, I don't care. Like, and part of it's apathy. Part of it is life. But, Disney movies used to be something to look forward to. And now it's just kind of, if it comes on Disney Plus or if it's on TV or friends are going to see it, I'll join them. So that's kind of, that kind of hit me when you sent this article and I started reading it. It's just like, I haven't felt, maybe the last Disney movie I felt excited about going to the theater to see was the live action Lion King, maybe.
Oh, wow.
And so, I mean, how many years ago was that?
That's been a minute.
I mean, that's been a minute.
That's the year that they released 52 movies and they were all $1 billion hits. That's the year that came out. So
yeah. So I mean, I think that's the last movie I was excited about. And right after you sent that, I just happened to be on Twitter and I saw on the Disney posted, and this shows a little bit of their desperation, like Soul, Seeing Red, Luca, they're all getting re-released in the theater.
Yeah. That's a little too late.
I mean, they've been on Disney Plus for years.
Well, and it's so I just don't understand the choices. I don't. Yeah, that was in
2024. They're all coming back to the theater.
Okay, so
good luck with that.
Soul was phenomenal.
Yeah, Soul was
but
awesome.
like Turning Red, like, I mean, that's about getting your period as a young girl. That's a very select targeted market. It's a very bizarre release. I struggle with that one.
I liked Luke a lot too. So,
yeah, that was great.
But I'm done. But, okay, I don't need to go see it in the theater.
Brandon, you segued good into my. I have two thoughts on this, and these are original thoughts, not from that article. I'm closing my iPad to prove it to you.
You don't have to close it
because I took a crap ton of notes today. I should back up. If you want to see this article, it's on cnbc.com and just search Bob Iger. You'll find it. Yeah. Okay. So there are two main reasons that come to my mind. I don't want to say that I believe. Two main reasons that come to my mind. The movie landscape, the movie theater landscape has changed dramatically since COVID. I don't care what people say. I know we've had $1 billion movies this year. I don't care. Like, this was a thing that I did all the time. Not so much in later in life, but I mean, the movies is where you go. Brandon said it, where you go to escape. It has to be like a Top Gun Maverick to bring me to the theater. Like, oh, I went away. I'm gone, or is it just my camera?
Just your camera. We can hear you.
Okay. Weird, because nothing's changed. It says webcam right there on my camera.
Okay.
All right, cool. You get to look at a gray circle. And two, I think Disney has almost shot themselves in the foot with Disney Plus. And what I mean by that is, we don't have a big family, but it's not uncommon. I feel like bigger families are more common now than they were when I was growing up. And so to go to like a matinee movie and it's $14 for you and your 5 kids, or you and your spouse and your 4 kids, or I can wait probably 60 days, sometimes less, sometimes more, and it'll be on Disney Plus. Or it's $14 per month, and we can watch it on 6 different screens, or we can all sit in front of that tower. And to coincide with this, we just got off Black Friday. I mean, you can get a 75-inch TV, which in the right room is a very theater-like experience for $500.
Crazy.
I mean, it's just like,
it's true.
I mean, the draw is not there. I mean, I love movies so much. You guys don't ever get to see this, especially now with the way my screen's looking. We built a dedicated home theater room in our house. I have a Disney, I have a Dolby Atmos system. I'm looking at a big giant black 85-inch screen in front of me, and I'm looking at a front projection right now. I was telling Rob the other day that'll do 120-inch. Like, crazy. I mean, I'm so into this. So I love, and all this is stemmed from going to the movies. I loved going to the movies, but like, I have it at home now. And that reach, when I was growing up, you had to be a millionaire to have a theater in your house. Are you kidding me? Now, like, I built this for less than $7,000, and that number's way cheaper now. Like, that's because when I built it, the TV was 5 and the speakers were 2. So anyway, talk amongst yourself while I figure out my camera
so
situation.
True. You know, like, I think we went to the movies. Like, I forget the last movie we went to see. There, you're back. It literally, it cost us like $60 in tickets. Like, we don't, we go to amazing theaters and IMAX theater experiences and stuff like that. It's even more with IMAX. So I think you're 100% on the money, And like, some of the windows, like, not mainly Disney, but some of these movies, they're 2-week windows. They're like 2 weeks. Yeah. Like, it used to be like, I think we talked about this. It used to be like 6 months, and it was like 3 months, and it was like, some of these movies, like a lot of these movies coming out in December, it's like day and day. And like, even like this couple of Netflix movies, they advertise, hey, see it in the theater, and in December 10th, it's going to be on Netflix. Dave, you're 100% on the money. Yeah. Brandon, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, just listening to you talk right now, I mean, you see the preview and it's like coming December 10th to theaters and Netflix.
Yeah.
Well, I already pay for Netflix. Like, why am I going to go to the theater? Like Dave said earlier, like, unless the movie is a Top Gun Maverick, which was 100% designed.
Oh, that's a theater movie
in the theater. Like, I bought it the day it came out on digital. I watch it all the time on my 65-inch TV, but that's not a theater experience. 99% of movies today are just as impactful, I feel, at your house as they are in the movie theater. Yeah. And that's kind of the downfall. And now studios make money, not so much from ticket sales. They make it from selling it to services. You know what I mean? Oh, so I think Disney's just missed the ball. It's their own service, right? So,
and that's flailing. That's not doing well.
No. So like, if Disney had to sell to HBO Max, maybe these movies do a little better. But because
I think Rob and I talked about it. Didn't we talk about it last time about the vault? You guys remember the vault? How it was like, oh crap, the Lion King's coming back out of the vault. You better go buy the DVD. Like, now it's all like $14 a month. I have the entire library.
Dun, dun, dun.
So like, I get it that you want to get it in more people's hands. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's not that Disney's done anything wrong. It's just harder to gain eyes in the theater. Like, I don't know. And I'm like, obviously I'm a snob. I mean, like I built one in my house. And so when I go, I only go to the Dolby Theater. And so we like went to this random like 3:30 showing over Thanksgiving weekend because it was the only time it was in the Dolby Theater to see Wish. Sorry, to see Wish. So I was like, I ain't going to see it unless I can see it in Dolby.
Right. Snob.
So yeah.
Snob.
I mean, some people are like that with IMAX, and unless it was filmed in IMAX, I don't care.
They're in the world of sequels and live remakes, and my kid's like, "Why do they do that?" I'm like, "Cause they make money. It's guaranteed money." So, and it's why come up with something new like Wish, and you can Toy Story 52 and Frozen 52 and whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, and that makes studio heads say, like, why are we going to invest all this time in developing an original story when we can, like you said, make Toy Story 207?
That's right. Yeah. And I would go see it. I would go see Toy Story.
I would probably go see it too.
Yes.
I heard that they talked to them too. Like he was on Kimmel or I almost said Leno Fallon like a week ago. And like he talked about, I just didn't click on the YouTube link. Like, anybody know what it was said? Like they approached them about Toy Story 5, Hanks and Tim the Toolman Taylor. Sorry, I'm old. I can't think of his
wasn't
name.
much. It just said, "Oh, it's going to be good." Like I think that was really it.
Oh, it's legit happening.
Oh yeah, they're having the sequel. They announced that. There's a Toy Story. There's a Toy Story sequel. There's a Frozen sequel, and there's a Zootopia sequel. I wasn't
Frozen
joking
3?
about that.
Frozen 3.
Yeah, why not? That's the huge. They just Frozen just hit their 10th anniversary. It's bigger than ever. The Frozen Land just opened in I don't know.
Yeah, I
guess Shanghai
it
or
looks really cool. I got to get over to Paris because is it open there yet or about to?
It's going to be there, and it's going to be in they're going to have it in Japan too. So Japan's going to have a couple different worlds too.
I was supposed to go to Germany in January, but now that's not happening. So maybe we'll go in April and I can sneak over.
By the way, the Frozen Ever After in the new park is literally the same thing as Epcot. Literally like the same exact carpet.
So awful. So awful is what you're saying.
It's Brandon's favorite ride.
I'm just kidding. It's a completely serviceable ride.
Yeah. Oh, and there's the Zootopia ride looks just like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad, just with Zootopia, which is weird, but it's like literally the same.
Is not what we'll get at Animal Kingdom because there's no room in the tree for a ride. Exactly. So that'll be interesting to see what message gets in that story, right?
Yeah. Everybody was dogging that, but they're like, that's theme parks do this all the time. Like Spider-Man is Transformers. Like
that's right.
It's all the same. Like it's just the theming. So, hey, but don't worry. Frozen Land and Zootopia coming to Disney World in the year 2963.
Brandon, start the timer.
Right after
starting the countdown.
And the Hatbox Ghost would only been there for 3 weeks.
So sad.
All right, that's our show. I thought that was a good topic.
So that was good.
For sending that.
Yeah, that was good.
We just need a title now.
Yeah, that may
be a
have
good title.
That was apart from our normal joviality as far as Disney's concerned. So
let's work on our title right now. Iger demands change. Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh. I'll take it. Dave's good at titles. So.
Iger talks beep. All right, gents, this was great. We'll have to sneak one more in before Christmas.
Yes, we can do that for sure.
We can do it. Congratulations on 101 episodes, and Dave just honored.
Amazing.
Brandon missed an episode.
I mean, I've been gone for a couple, so I'm probably at like 86.
Yeah, but Brandon just missed the episode. Well, whatever. We'll just say you just missed the one, so you're both 100 episodes, both of you.
Well, Brandon came in way late because we started with Matthew and Ryan. I don't even know how long. True. I'd have to go back and look when your first one was.
Doesn't matter. But...
Why I didn't think to include him from day one is beyond me.
I mean, I'm not going to say
stupid because probably I didn't know. Like I don't know how. Like because they would all come here. I didn't know how to put all that stuff together back then. Like, how do you stream online? How do you connect with people that are in all over the East Coast? That's what we do now. Yeah. All right, until we meet again.
Until we meet again, fair friends.
Until we meet again.
Have a hang in there because, as I said, the jingle hop has begun. Bicycle. That's the best one yet. Yeah.